wanted to both congratulate you people and then also challenge you here today a little bit. First of all, I will tell you that it's been about 2 years since this movement really started gaining steam. And I would venture that maybe since the founding of this country, no movement of the people has accomplished more in 2 years than a group of people around the country just like you that are meeting in meetings like this or are doing so today, have done so across this country for the last 2 years. It's incredible. And you guys are going to give yourselves a round of applause for that, really. Forgive me, it's freezing. I may not be able to enunciate as clearly here today. But I think the reason you guys have been so successful is really because the principles that you're standing for are really at the heart of what it means to be an American, what is unique about the American experience. And you should applaud that as well, absolutely. This is an experiment unlike anything that's ever been tried on this planet. And it's incredible when you see how fast, if you're a student of history, if you saw how fast this country rose to global prominence, I think therefore it also means that we could decline just as quickly. And to be much is given, much is expected. We have been, with the exception of the church, this nation has been the most righteous instrument in this planet, on this planet for the last 200 years. When you think, and I would even include the church as the reason maybe that is the case. And you look at the amount of freedom that we have spread across the globe. You look at the mission trips that the prosperity in this nation has been able to fund to bring people the gospel. I mean, this nation has had an immense impact on this planet for the last 2.5 centuries. But I think more so than ever before, that is in peril. And that's where I think the challenge now comes in. You people have, well, I should say we the people, we have gained a lot of notoriety. The media is obsessed with us, and that's a good thing. We've made all the right enemies so far. But now, after this last election, now comes really the hard part. Because now, some of you people are now in public office. Some of the people that we worked hard to get elected. Some of the people that came to rallies like this and said, darn it, man, somebody's got to do something, and if nobody else will, then I'll take it upon myself. And some of those people are now in office. And now, the good news is you're now more of a mainstream movement. But the bad news is you're now more of a mainstream movement. We now have to govern. It's not just enough to blog. It's not just enough to call talk shows like mine, or the one I used to have anyway. It's not just enough. It's not just enough to come to rallies. We actually have to govern now. And governing is not easy. And if we're going to change things, that's at the level where things are really going to change, is at the level of governance. And that's where I really would like to challenge you guys. To me, I think that if you look at similar movements, whether they've been causes like the right to life or other kind of causes that I'm very passionate about, if you look at why those causes have gone awry, why they no longer are having the impact that you have had in just 2 years, I think it's because they failed the 3 tests I'm about to give you. Number 1, if you want to be successful now, if you want to move from a rally but to a revolution, if you want to move now from a movement but to a government, I think these are the 3 things you have to understand. Number 1, resist as long as you can the temptation to anoint 1 or 2 stars or leaders. Resist that as long as you possibly can. The system will come to you. They will ask you, who's your leader? Who do we talk to? Who do we put on TV all the time? Who do we put on radio all the time? Who do we have write our op-eds? And the reason they do that is because they want to narrow down the amount of people they can buy off. That's why they want to do that. The longer that you are a grassroots movement, is this something I said? The longer that you are spontaneous combustion, the longer you're moving to the more impact you will have. Because what's gone wrong with the rest of these movements is they've anointed a few people as stars, as heroes. And those people no longer went to Washington and told them what you wanted. Instead, they came back from Washington and told you what Washington was going to give you. And if you want to avoid that, this needs to be about the people that are assembled here today. Not a star-making vehicle for 1, 2, or 3 people to run for office or get some seat at the table down the line. That's number 1. Number 2 is you need to make it about the principle and not the party. I don't want to turn blue things to red. I want this to be about the red, white, and blue. The debate. I got to tell you, and I promised myself I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't cause any trouble while I was here today, and then I thought, like, I'm really not going to do something like that. The speaker the presidential candidate that spoke a few minutes ago, Tim Pawlenty. I'm sorry, that's not what the debate is about. Folks, please hear me. The debate is not about Washington spending more than it takes in. The debate is about how much Washington takes in. That's the debate. Bill Clinton balanced budgets. Were you happy with the size of government under Bill Clinton? You know, when this legislature adjourns here, likely next week or the week after, they'll give you a balanced budget. Mike Ronstahl and Chet Holder gave you balanced budgets. Were you happy? Were you happy with the size of that budget? So the debate is not about spending more than we take in. The debate is about how much we take in. And see, that's what this has to be about. What are the principles we stand for? And that has to come before any party. And that doesn't mean you don't use the party system as a vehicle to drive your agenda, but that's what you need to use it for. You're going to have to make up your minds. Do you want to be patriots or do you want to be party people? And you will not be able to be both. You cannot serve two masters. You will hate one and love the other, or love one and hate the other, but sooner or later, you're going to hate yourself if you do. And the third thing is, baby steps won't work. The good news is the amount of success you guys have had in 2 years. Here's the bad news. You're out of time. We don't have time to do this. I'm going to go home when we're done here to a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 4-year-old. I don't have 30 years of incremental baby steps, incrementally rolling back liberalism, unconstitutionalism, socialism. I don't have 30, 40 years from that. We don't have that kind of time, folks. We don't. In another 30 to 40 years, you take some more baby steps, then your grandkids better get to learn Arabic and Chinese real quick, because that's the languages they're going to be speaking. Do not allow the politicians to put their arm around you and say, because I've been in these meetings, I've been in these back rooms, I've met many of these people, and let me tell you what they will do to you. They'll put their arm around you and they'll say, you know, you've got some great ideas. You know, but some of those things, we got to take baby steps. We didn't get here overnight. We won't end things overnight. You know, we got to do little by little, little by little. And you know, you vote for me again and vote for more people like me, and little by little we'll change things. Let me tell you what little by little is going to get us. More socialism. That's what it's going to get us. Little by little is going to lose your republic. That's what it's going to do. One day, your founding fathers got together. They tried this little by little. In colonial legislatures, they tried it little by little, and they sent delegations to King George. And then finally, maybe one of them just had one too many pints at a pub, and they said, that's enough. We just can't take this anymore. We just can't do this anymore. We can't live like this anymore. Incremental won't work. Incremental means I don't have Incremental means I don't have a job. We can't do this little by little. You need to take steps and advance your principles. This last election, a lot of good people got elected. And so far, all this legislature behind us has done is take minimal baby steps to undoing the reason we put him in office in the first place. The Congress just sat up there and said, yeah, we'll cave to Barack Obama. We'll fund Planned Parenthood. We'll fully fund Obamacare. We'll do that in this next budget. We're going to do that. Is that what you voted for? Let me tell you, any more baby steps like that, and whatever spare change is left in your pocket, you might as well just hand it over to Barack Hussein Obama, because he's going to get that too. And you know, I don't think it matters. I don't know about the rest of you, but if I'm bankrupt, it doesn't feel better to me because the Republican did it. Maybe you're like that. Maybe if I go bankrupt, it just doesn't suck as much if the Republicans did it to me. Maybe if I go bankrupt, and maybe if I don't get my tax refund, or maybe there's not enough cops on my street because we're funding social engineering with the welfare state, maybe you feel better about it if the Republicans do it compared to the Democrats. But I don't. I want my country back. And I think you're here because that's what you want as well. You're on the right track. Let me encourage you. You're on the right track. Stay on the track you're on. Do not sell out. Don't sell out. Don't anoint superstar leaders. Don't come up with the next generation of Pat Robertsons. Don't do that for your leader. or for your movement, where these leaders speak for everybody, or Jesse Jackson's. They speak for everybody that believes like you. Don't do that. You speak for yourself. This is government by the consent of the governed. It's from the bottom up, not from the top down. Make it about your principles and not about what party. And then you know what? Then you'll get what you want. And then finally, don't fall for the lie of incrementalism. That is a lie. Instead, this needs to be about do the right thing, or we're going to remove you. Lead. And you know what? From now on, tell them, don't lead and get out of the way. No, if you're not going to lead, stay right there so I can run over you when I take your place. God bless America. Thank you for your time.